Right, this is my petrol tank. As you can see, I've already painted it just with some rattle can, which was this stuff, paint code 53943. That seemed to be a pretty close match to the BSA colour. Maybe could have been a shade dark, shade lighter, not shade darker, shade lighter. But I don't think that looks too bad. I like it anyway. So this is, though I bought it in the UK, I think it's probably an Indian made tank, and it's now a little bit smoother than it was when I got it. This was, well, it was like a ploughed field, really. The only good thing about them is they do make them of a really good gauge steel, but the finish on them is not great. I probably could have done a little bit more. There's a little bit I've missed there, a little bit ridgy there, you can see in the light. And again across the top. Yeah, I did have to put a little bit of filler on it all over, really, and I actually came in this it's funny coloured sort of greeny grey primer filler, which was quite thick old stuff. Yeah, so I knocked that back a little bit, put some filler on, rub that back, put some more primer filler over it, and then that blue paint and the that rattle can and some petrol resistant lacquer. And the other thing I found with these is this tunnel. It's not really wide enough. I had to fettle the rubbers, shall we say. I probably took a good, I don't know, 1/4 inch off each side and reshaped them to get them to fit. And the other thing is the usual threads. They're supposed to be 5/16 cycle thread. Well, I think they were, but they weren't cut very well. So I just had to run a tap down them, and that was removing metal, so I think their threading, whatever they use, threading machine is a little bit out or something. Assume they were the right thread. They were the right. Now 5/16 nut, when I tried it, would go on maybe 2 or 3 threads, and then it was just too tight. So yeah, I just ran the die down them. But have not come out terribly good. And the same with these. And these are supposed to be 1/4 BSP, which these are the old taps, which are 1/4 BSP. Even though I have actually gone over and chamfered these, because there was no chamfer on them, they still do not. I get like about not quite a full turn and go tight. And I'll put a, that one's the same. That one goes a little bit more, I think. I have what was I going to say? Oh yeah, thread gauge. I put a thread gauge in there, and as far as I can tell, they look to be correct. 19 TPI. Yeah, and I haven't got a 1/4 BSP tap, so I've got one of them on order. I'm just going to run a tap down them. Hopefully, that'll be okay. If not, the only other thing would be to drill them out and re-tap them and put an adapter in, brass, you know, brass adapters that go in. But they to me look like they are just nuts that have been welded in. Yeah, very strange. But the thing is, these are probably, these Indian tanks are, I don't know, probably 100 plus pounds cheaper than your British made one. So if you're prepared to do a little bit of work on them, they're probably not too bad value wise. Anyway, just a little bit extra time required, and let's say I probably could have got this a little bit better. Still a few ripples in there. I didn't actually put a lot of filler on the top, it's mostly on the sides. Yeah, so hopefully that will all come out okay. Oh, and the other thing is, these are too far back, because when I mounted this on the bike, the bracket, which I've not got in here at the moment, which is supposed to go across there, and two of the, there's like a piece on the frame which sticks down, it's supposed to be in line, near enough, but it's not. So I've had to make up another bracket. I'll show you that when I fit it. I want to get the tap down them first before I fit it. Yeah, so that is the tank. The side panels, which also painted up and lacquered. Although actually this lacquer is just the standard gloss, not the petrol resistant one. It's actually not quite as good a finish as the petrol resistant lacquer, so I wish I'd have done those in the same, but still polished up, will be okay. Yeah, so it's really coming along now. Final stages, a few more bits to do, and I'll be there. Right, so I'm now going to fit the tank. I have fitted the old fuel cap off the old tank, that's the original one. However, as usual, did have to do a little bit of fettling. I wish I'd have tried this before I painted it now, because I had to manipulate this here to get this catch to work correctly. To start with, it wasn't even going over, so I had to get a punch in there and sort of flatten it off and bend the lip up a bit. But that does actually now work. I won't put it down at the moment because I have just there's some of the paint is missing there. It's only going to come off again with use. I've just gone over with a little bit of petrol resistant lacquer just to try and seal up the edges, because now what that'll be like, that'll just start blistering off as soon as you get petrol in there. And I have also now see, I have actually run a tap down those, so they should be ready to go. And speaking of taps, fuel taps, I have I actually did order a reserve, which is this one without a tube in it, and the main, although really I only need the reserves because of the design of the tank. It's you don't really need the tube, so I think you can actually remove those. I know these unscrew, these filter parts. I'm pretty sure the tubes will just pull out, so I'll take the tube out of that one. The other thing is, I did have to do some These are the rubbers. You can see they're a little bit skinnier than they would normally be. I did have to reshape them to get them to fit the tank, get them to fit in the tunnel. So I've got those to go on. I've got my bracket there, under tank bracket, and I've got all the bits here to hold the tank on, or hold it centrally. What else? Oh yes, I am going to belt and braces. Going to put PTFE around the threads, and also use these bonded washers, or doty washers, if I call them, because there's nothing worse than petrol leaking over your nicely painted tank and stripping all the paint off it. Even with petrol resistant lacquer, I found it will still eventually start to take it off. The only thing I've found that really does resist petrol is hammerite, smooth hammerite. That just seems to be petrol resistant. Oh yeah, I've got a couple of little connectors there, unions. So I think I'll get the tank on, then I'll fit the taps. I think that's the way I'll do it. I did think about putting these in first, but no, I think I'll get the tank on first. So I've just got a little bit of padding under there, because it's very easy just to knock the tank against there. Yeah, I think I'll just lower the lift to do that. I did have it raised because I just put a new throttle cable in. The other one was had it. It was just starting to fray. Once I actually looked at it at this end, once I actually took the old throttle off, this is a new one on here. Yeah, it was actually frayed inside there, so I've got a new cable on there now. And carburetor fitted. So yeah, I'll get on. I'll lower the ramp and get that tank fitted. Right, so there is the fixing bolt in place. Rubbers are underneath. So what we have is a washer, longer section of tube. This is going by what's in the parts book. Then there's a shorter section of tube, a large washer, spring washer and nut. But to me, how is that going to get, because this actually works by getting squashed and expanded out into the tunnel, into the hole. And I can't see the point of, why would you have two bits of tubing when it's a one bit? So what I think needs to happen is a washer needs to go in there. So that has got something to squish against. And in fact I'd have put a slightly longer piece of tubing in there, but that's the size it's meant to be, so that's what we'll put in. So yeah, that's basically the order. And obviously that little bit of tubing is going to go in there inside that rubber. So that's how I'm going to do it. I'm not sure whether that's right, wrong or what, but there we go. Right, so that is that all tightened down. I've also got a little rubber bunker going the top there, and I just put the seat on to check we've got clearance there, which I have. So the only thing now is to fit the little bracket which goes under here. Yeah, I have got a grommet up this end. I'm going to see if I can find some washers this end as well, some rubber washers maybe, just to give that a little bit of isolation. That's actually quite firm with just that in there. Yeah, so I'll get that bit on next. Right, that's that fitted. That bolt is, no, that's a little bit proud, but I think once the rubber is on, that'll be fine. Yeah, that's just maybe an eighth off the surface. So that's the mounting plate I made. This is what I should have on there, but as you can see, there's no way, even if you fit it that way around, there's no way those holes will match these bolts. So these are actually in completely the wrong place, hence why I had to make that bracket up. And also the centres were wrong anyway, so yeah, these are a little bit too close together. They want to be another 1/4 inch apart, I think. Yeah, so but that is really solid. Yeah, so that's that fitted. I think I might just put the I've got the spacers here for the seat. I think I might just fix the seat down now. Then the side panels can go on. And that's just about it. Yeah. Oh, front brake cable. That's about all I'm waiting for, I think. Front brake cable. And that's been a little bit tricky trying to sort out something for that. Because I've got these competition style levers on here which have a built-in adjuster, so I need a plane without an adjuster end that end, and I need a clevis one this end, preferably with an adjuster for here, and long enough. So I've been hunting around trying to find something that will work. I've now ordered a closest thing I seem to be able to find is a B50 MX front brake cable, so hopefully that will work. If not, I don't know, might have to get one made up or make one up that's going to fit. But yeah, that's the only sticking point at the moment. Yeah, and this side cover, just side panel, doesn't look right to me, but you'll see once that's fitted. You'll see what I mean. Just fitted the taps, would you know it, these unions I'm going to have to get angled ones, because I won't even get a pipe on there and it's too close to the head anyway. So I reckon these are in the wrong place as well. I think they should be further back. Pictures I've seen, I'm sure they're back there somewhere. Yeah, so yeah, I need to get some right angle ones of those. But apart from that, the taps are on. That little pipe on the main, this one, that little extender pipe, I thought that might just pull out, but it didn't, so I just had to cut that short, so to speak, and yeah, so that should be okay. So I've got that side and the other one's in there as well. Yeah, so I need some little angles to go on there. Right, they've got the little elbows there, 90-degree elbows. Yeah, does actually fit. There's clearance under there, So they will do nicely. The only thing I might change, or I probably will change, is this union here, 55-degree double union. I think what I'm going to have to do, because this pipe here comes so close to the side panel, really pushing against that, I think I'm going to have to change that for just a single union, and put a T on these pipes. Just have one pipe going in there, because at the moment that's just too tight on there, and it can't go any further that way because of the tickler in there. So the only other thing would be to swing this further that way. Yeah, so I might just try that first actually, see if that works better, and tuck it behind here. There is quite a bend on this pipe anyway, even without the panel on there, and these are 5/16 hoses, so there should be plenty of flow there, even 2 into 1 shouldn't be a problem. So yeah, something else to look at. Right, a bit light in here now, see a little bit better. That yeah, so moving that round, that will actually go behind the behind that cover, the side panel, but there is still a nasty kink in it, so I think I'm gonna order a T and put a T in there and see how that goes, see if that's any better. Probably should really have 1/4 inch pipe on here, but I did order the wrong the wrong union, so that's how we went with 5/16. Yeah, that's yeah, work in progress.